Rory Mack, it is going to be remembered. It will be a lasting image from the 2024 United States Open, just like Bryson DeChambeau's 55-yard bunker shot.
We love big-time winners. Like, you win a championship, we want to hear from you. You get the stage. Sometimes it's emotional. It's a great watch. We know we also love the losers who said, you know what, I just can't believe I folded down the stretch. Let me face the music here. You sort of get a new light there.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
You know, this guy is the mad scientist. I mean, he's all about green density. So in my mind, I feel like he's going to have the green speeds dialed in, and the angles needs to land them and all that sort of stuff. I feel like he's going to be a good spot and playing the course well. And he's going to be hitting less club into a lot of these par threes too. So I just, we're talking about using a live guy. I love Bryson this week. I'm riding with Bryson.
Only on SportsGrid.
The 5s, the 10s, the 20s, and the 40s. And you've got a couple that I love here, including a guy who has been rock solid at majors in Tom Kim.
Don't forget for a second that he finished top 5 when Phil won at Kiowa, and it's the same sort of sandy surface with push-up greens where there's a lot of awkward situational short game shots. The big rig, Harry Higgs, he was solid there, and he's playing some great golf right now.
Pharrell Coast to Coast, only on SportsGrid.
Do you believe that Bobrovsky's minus 420 number right now using the FanDuel Sportsbook is an appropriate pricing?
I look at how strong Bobrovsky's been able to be, and he's been stealing these games. And when we look across the board for the rest of the Florida Panthers, there's not that standout player out there. But you got to remember, this is a voted on award.
Game time decisions, only on Sports.
And welcome in. It's InGame Live Prime Time on a terrific Tuesday. Scott Wetzel, Dave Sharapan for the next 2 glorious hours, watching, analyzing, betting on the world of sports. Ah, yes, you may think everything is over now that the hockey and baskets are done. Not so. We have baseball. We do have some baskets. A little WNBA Commissioner's Cup Championship game. You know, that all-important contest that the LA Lakers won that prompted the Lakers to do so well in the real playoffs? Yeah, the WNBA has the same thing. The title game is tonight. We have that. So we got Black Clouds. We got same-game parlays. Hope you didn't have the under in Baltimore. Red Sox were winning. Stankies are losing, which is a beautiful thing. We'll get to it all. And throwing up, barfing in Cincinnati, literally. The Black Cloud works in mysterious ways. We'll get to that and all the answers to your questions supplied by Mr. Sharapan. What's going on, Dave? How are you tonight, my friend?
Wait a second. Hold on. You already have a Black Cloud play that's going on in Cincinnati. The Pirates are playing in Cincinnati, and you should have Mitch Keller and the Pirates as the Black Cloud play of the night, the play that can't lose, won't lose, double up, triple up, whatever that stuff you say all the time when we do it, because, I mean, this is victory lap night. You know what actually culminated in all of the sweat, all of the work and games we had to watch finally came home to roost yesterday. I mean, I fully expected you in a new suit, black tie, bow tie, top hat, something. Went to the tailor shop because there it is right there. The S&W Corporation Championship Parlays. UConn in the men's basketball. The Celtics in the men's basketball on the right in the NBA, and right in the middle. It took 7 games. The Cats, the Florida Panthers, got it home. Wetzel, how much did it pay?
Paid 100, well, depending on when you put it in, but if you put it in when we told you to, 131 to 1. So not bad, not bad.
Show's over.
Not bad.
That's it. What are we gonna do? What do we got to do? 131 to 1. It's over.
Go find ways to spend money. You know, just that, or just bet it on more stuff. You know, see, the question everyone has, Dave, is when do you cash out? Like, what? Everyone's number is different. depending if you're a $5 better, $10 better, $100 better, right? When do you say, okay, I'm going to withdraw money? I don't think I've ever withdrawn money from FanDuel. I've been gambling for I don't know how long, right? Are you allowed to do that? Is that allowed? Does that take like a week or so? Do bells and whistles go off in the company? I mean, you can actually take money out. Is that allowed? Really? So we'll just throw it all on NFL futures. Yeah, something goofy like that.
That you were stubborn, that you waited, that every time I tried to coax you and say, listen, they won game 4. Maybe think about it, game 5. No, I'm not doing it. I'm stubborn. I'm not doing it, Dave. All right, how about after game 5? Maybe take a little shot on Edmonton, do it? No, I'm not doing it. And I said, seriously, I think you should do it now because they're going to win game 6. And you still stuck to it. You're like, nope, I'm not doing it, Dave. So you held true to the bet. You held true, and you didn't cash out despite their offers to entice you to do it. And it's nice when you wake up, or you probably were still up when the game ended, and you hit, open up the account, and you go, hey, all right, we can get the oil changed. We get the extra coat of wax on the tires this week. Mentioned to the wife, hey, you want to go to dinner? We're going to go to the steak place that we always drive by but never go to. Let's have a nice steak dinner. You bring home flowers. Good things happen when that happens. And then you get the Subway Series, and you just go, well, we got to play the Mets. I went and got the Mets stuff, broke the Mets stuff all out tonight. Said Mets, got to be the Mets. You got team trends against the Mets? This is what?
Yankees playing well. I will say the Yankees. Well, actually, they're not. It should be the other way around. 3-7 last 10. Yeah, they got it right. Yeah. Mets are to play. They're playing great, best ball all season. The Yanks are playing their worst ball all season. And you even said it, during the break or before we came on the air. Mets at home as underdogs, really? I mean, against as great as they're playing, and love the anti-Garrett Cole situation with him, making only his second start. Who cares how he did his first start? It's the second one is the one that you let down.
A lot of times they give him the first start off the injury or whatever at home. I always like to go against it on the second start on the road, and we got a couple guests lined up tonight. The first guest up, he'll be up pretty soon. He's going to be very excited. He's a super Mets fan. Dave Ross, friend of the show. I guarantee he knows who has the best record in baseball in June. Do you know who has the best record in baseball in June?
I think it's the Mets. I actually think it's the Mets. They probably had the worst in May, and I think it's the Mets. Yeah.
We're right here, man.
There you go.
That's why this show works. Yeah. And then, we got Vinny and Matty G working behind the scenes to make sure we keep it online and keep it on the rundown and everything else. This is good. I feel good. I'm excited.
So let me tell you about the black cloud, the unintended black cloud, which is the most dangerous out of all black clouds. The unattended black cloud is the one that you're like, sorry, man, I feel bad. The ones I intend, it's like I get a little joy out of that. So your Pittsburgh Pirates taking on Cincinnati, right? So I got Hunter Green in a strikeout prop. I think it was 5.5. I got a double, either 5.5 or 6.5, right? Pittsburgh, one of the worst strikeout teams in all of baseball. Did you see what he did in the first inning?
I'm going to guess he struck out the side. Based on the tone of your voice.
I can give you 1,000 guesses, and you'll never. I can give you 1,000,000 guesses. I don't think you'd guess what he did in the first inning. He threw up in basically the middle of a pitch on the mound. And I'm not talking like spit throw. I'm talking throw up. Just like this is like Donovan McNabb in the Super Bowl throw up.
Oh, no.
I mean, he just check the highlights on Twitter. And I'm telling you, it was almost midstream. He did throw the pitch, and then when his arm came down, he turned his back, and he just upchucked all over the place.
Was the pitch
a ball sick or as a strike? Dog.
Was the pitch a ball or strike?
It's a good question. I don't know. All I saw was the throw up. I wanted to barf looking at it. I got no shot. The guy's given up 6 runs already. He's obviously sick as a dog. You might as well rip that ticket up. Sorry, Hunter Green people. I didn't,
Was there anybody on base?
No. I think it was the leadoff guy.
It couldn't have been a balk. So that would have been, we got a couple concerns here, right? Mr. Official, I coach two on the side and all this other stuff. The first question to ask, is it a ball or strike? Does the pitch count? Do we get timeout because he threw up or not? And then I'm looking at the box score. I was so enthralled with the Yankees and the Mets. I haven't watched 1 second of the Pirates and Reds, but he's still in the game.
Yeah, I'm shocked.
He's given up 6 earned. What did he do? He must have done something to somebody that they said, listen, I don't care if you're sick or not, you're going out there. And in fact, I ain't taking you out. It's like when your kid says, oh, Daddy, I'm sick, I can't go to school. They make themselves throw up and they, you buy it. The managers, it must say look, we ain't got no one else. The bullpen's gassed. You got to stay out there. You're sick pitch. That's unbelievable. 3 1/3, 6 earned, and I threw up. Oh, my goodness.
How would you like to have that bet, right? You're betting on Cincinnati with their best pitcher on the hill. He's barfing all over the place, and the manager's not even taking him out of the game. And they actually went out to the mound and said, sorry, and we got nobody warming up right now.
I don't
throw up all you want.
Crazy.
Wetzel's got the over on your strikeouts. I'll give you a fighting chance, but in reality,
a bad beat, throw up, refund. That'll probably be on Twitter tonight.
Nice.
Rossi next.
That's good.
SportsGrid, your 24/7 sports wagering network. Fantasy sports today.
Can he be a guy that's really useful in your fantasy rotation? I think the answer is yes.
Game time decisions.
I'm going to lose the bet because he's injured again.
Betting above the rim.
He's got a broke J. That's all there is to it. He's got no confidence in that jump shot.
My thing you've always heard me say on the network is you're either winning or you're rebuilding.
InGame Live All Access.
Wondering when that was going to happen. And the answer is, it just did.
The bigger guy will have the advantage. Well, if the little guy can move, Joe, it's hard to hit the little guy sometimes when you're a big boy, right?
InGame Live, prime time.
40-1, I'm going to take a little flyer on Justin Rose.
InGame Live, overtime.
As you sit here and listen, watch right now, you may want to consider placing that bet.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
He went bogey, double, par, birdie, bogey. Thomas Dietrich's all over the place here today.
This golf course is so volatile where it can make you look like a fool in just a matter of minutes. And, you look at a guy like Thomas Dietrich. He's right there tied for the lead or whatever it was, and now he's like 4 or 5 over in the wink of an eye.
InGame Live, all access, only on SportsGrid.
Despite me being a Yankee fan, I think Joe would deserve the label as Aaron Judge's biggest fan, not through any bias, but just through the amount of money that he's made anybody who's been betting on him.
I just had him for that home run, and I'm going to go back to it today. That home run coming in at plus 230. Max Fried here, while he has been strong, this is Aaron Judge.
Game time decisions, only on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back InGame Live, prime time here on the grid. Scott Wetzel, Dave Sharapan, just getting underway. We'll do all we can not to throw up on you, and hopefully we throw out some winners and not barf. How about that for a little segue? Let's talk a little baseball. Subway Series, Mets and Stankies going at it. Mets on top. Let's talk to our official Mets expert here. Dave Ross joins us here on the grid. What's going on, Dave? How are you tonight?
Hey, great to be joined by you guys. Scott, Dave, I get fired up for the Subway Series. I know with interleague through the years, maybe gets watered down a little bit, but this one still gets the juices flowing for native New Yorkers like myself. And I got to tell you, when I saw Garrett Cole, he get a little chin music there to Pete Alonso, right? And it looked like his reaction was like, all right, didn't mean to do it. Fair. David Peterson's punked two of their guys since. I'm just saying, before this night is over, it's getting hot over there in New York right now between the Metropolitans and those Yanks.
Well, speaking of hot, the best record in Major League Baseball is by one of these two teams playing in this Subway Series in the month of June, and it ain't the one in the pinstripes. So, I mean, well, it is tonight in the pinstripes, but it's not the Yankee pinstripes. Rossi, are you getting excited? Are you you've had heartbreak. You've had a lot of years of being a Mets fan, and it ain't easy. But this is one of those ones. Are you allowing yourself to go and, hey, we can get a wild card? Things can happen. What are you thinking right now?
I've tried to be like Larry David and curb my enthusiasm for a long time, right? But because, look, I'm old. I got the gray hair to prove it. I got the Mets jerseys to prove it. 86 doesn't feel like that long ago. And I know it's literally a lifetime ago for most of the people that are probably watching and listening to us right now, right? But 86 has sustained me for many, because we shouldn't have got it down to bottom 10 to the Bo Sox. We all know it's the greatest comeback, I think, arguably in the history of sports. So because of that, I could get by, 2015 and losing to the Royals. And that sucked. We lose to the Royals. Shouldn't have anything. We lose that one. I'm starting to get excited, Dave. And the reason is you're 2 games under 500. If you get this one tonight and beat Garrett Cole, 1 game back of 500. And what does that really mean? It really means that you're a wild card, possibly participant if you're 500 in this watered-down National League. Because after you get through the guys we know, right, the Dodgers and the Phillies, now we look at them as legit, and certainly the Braves, even with all their injuries. Past that, I don't really take anybody else seriously in the National League. So we just had an all wild card World Series a year ago. So why not us? Hey, Uncle Steve Cohen, why not buy a little bit at the deadline? Why not go ahead and maybe get one more? Maybe let's free Edwin Diaz and get the bullpen back. There are reasons to be optimistic if the Mets decide to be buyers rather than selling the guys like Big Sev, maybe like Pete Alonso, who's a free agent at the end of the year, right? These are the decisions that the front office has to make now. We can't really get to July. I know everybody's like, well, let's see how they do in the last couple weeks of June. No, these are the decisions they should be thinking about now, because there are guys out there in the market that won't cost you an arm and a leg that you can go get now if you think you're a wild card team. Then you get Kodai Senga back. All of a sudden, you've got a rotation. And then you should really get excited, because that is an ace in waiting right there. So I just look at the Mets, Dave, and I go, I think it's glass half full, not glass half empty.
You're really at a turning point, because the whole thing last year, Dave, was sell for the future, right? We're going to get rid of all these guys. We're going to eat their salaries because we're going to get prospects in return. And now you got yourself, because the NL stinks, in a position to maybe make the playoffs, not because you're playing great, just because the NL stinks. And they do have parts. JD Martinez, I'm sure somebody would want it. And you rattle off a couple of names. So, it's almost like Uncle Stevie, as you called him, which is funny. He's at this point where he can really tick off a lot of Met fans. If he starts selling off all these pieces rather than add on, but if he adds on, that's against what, he seemingly said he wanted to do last year.
Absolutely, Scott. And that's the thing. If you do deal a JD Martinez, who, by the way, a lot of the guys in that clubhouse, they looked at JD Martinez as the guy that's really turned this thing around, kind of veteran presence to say, let's stop with the frowns. Let's turn them upside down. Let's have a positive outlook in this clubhouse. So a lot of guys looked to him. So if you deal a Martinez, then you might as well deal the Martes. Then you might as well sell off the Alonso, see if you can get him back in free agency to go somewhere else for the rest of the year. But if you're going to do that, Uncle Steve, I urge you not to. But if you do, then you got to go all in. Then you have to tear the whole thing down. Because, look, we're starting to see the Vientos, who had another match tonight against Garrett Cole, who's starting to get everyday playing time at third base. He looks like one of those guys that could be part of the future. So, Scott, I actually tweeted at Uncle Steve, and I said, keep this group together. He didn't respond to me, and now I'm nervous because Uncle Steve. Nothing, Dave. I got nothing in return from Uncle Steve.
He didn't
And he's
answer.
very active on social media. Yeah.
I know. Well, listen, can you ask him if he's ever seen before? Because I know I never did, and I know you probably never did. Wetzel's seen pretty much everything, but I don't think he ever did either. A guy come in, a closer, and get kicked out of the game before he threw a pitch, and he had some gunk on his hand. Rossi, what was your guy doing? I love Edwin Diaz's entrance, the horns, all this other stuff. Did he think nobody would see his hand?
All I said, he just used the hashtag free Edwin Diaz. Free Edwin. I mean, come on, what are we doing? It was right before the series with the Yanks. We got to do this 10-game stuff arbitrary by Major League Baseball. Come on, my guy's had a rough time. He's out there in the World Baseball Classic last year trying to really give some eyeballs, and we lose him for the whole season because of the World Baseball Classic. Now we finally get him back. He's not really himself. He starts to hit his stride. He's got a little sticky stuff on there. Come on, man. Garrett Cole said it last year. He said, man, we need this stuff. We're protecting you, the hitter. He's just
Why
trying
didn't
to
he
protect the
appeal,
hitter.
though, Dave?
Okay.
Why didn't he appeal it and just pause it for a few days and be available for this series?
Because he knows he's guilty. They know they got him. They got him. It was all over. If you ain't cheating, you ain't trying. You guys know that.
I don't know. I mean, I would think he would have just said, all right, then change his mind afterwards, but he didn't appeal it. So, all right, so the Mets are going to win tonight. You're going to lay the 4-1 right now on the Mets, up 3-0 real quick?
Now with that bullpen, Scott, I have no idea what's coming out of that pen tonight. No idea.
Good job, Dave. Appreciate it. A couple minutes.
Thanks.
We'll do it again.
Thanks, Crossy.
InGame Live continues.
Absolutely.
SportsGrid, your 24/7 sports wagering network. Fantasy sports today.
Can he be a guy that's really useful in your fantasy rotation? I think the answer is yes.
Game
And guess
time
what?
decisions.
I'm going to lose the bet because he's injured again.
Betting above the rim.
He's got a broke J. That's all there is to it. He's got no confidence in that jump shot.
My thing you've always heard me say on the network is you're either winning or you're rebuilding.
InGame Live All Access.
Wondering when that was going to happen, and the answer is it just
Sometimes
did.
the bigger guy will have the advantage. Well, if the little guy can move, Joe, it's hard to hit the little guy sometimes when you're a big boy, right?
InGame Live, prime time.
40-1, I'm going to take a little flyer on Justin Rose.
InGame Live, overtime.
As you sit here and listen and watch right now, you may want to consider placing that bet.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
He went bogey, double, par, birdie, bogey. Thomas Dietrich's all over the place here today.
This golf course is so volatile where it can make you look like a fool in just a matter of minutes. And, you look at a guy like Thomas Dietrich. He's right there tied for the lead or whatever it was, and now he's like 4 or 5 over in the wink of an eye.
InGame Live All Access, only on SportsGrid.
Despite me being a Yankee fan, I think Joe would deserve the label as Aaron Judge's biggest fan, not through any bias, but just through the amount of money that he's made anybody who's been betting on him.
I just had him for that home run, and I'm going to go back to it today. That home run coming in at plus 230. Max Fried here, while he has been strong, this is Aaron Judge.
Game time decisions, only on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back. InGame Live, prime time here on the grid. Scott Wetzel, Dave Sharapan. A lot to get to, including Ohtani going deep for the Dodgers, who actually trail the Chicago White Sox. Little black cloud action. We got baseball. We get a little notation back with the Mets. I got a question for Dave with Major League Baseball, but a little SGP time, same game parlay. First up. All right, if in doubt, go against one of the worst teams in baseball. That's what we're going to do with our little SGP, even if it means putting American money on one of the worst teams in baseball. LA versus the Oakland A's. Pick your poison. We're going to pick the Angels, who are just a little bit better. A little four-piecer. We're going to go Angels minus 120 or so against the Oakland A's. Again, all these numbers depending on where you do your shopping, but they should be pretty similar. A's are just awful. You know, at one point, Oakland was 17-17 this year. They have then lost 35 of their next 47 games. So they're 12-35 since that point. So obviously we go against them. We're going to go over 3.5 run Angels. Why not? You figure if they're going to win. And I did look it up. They scored 4 runs in all but 6 of their 31 wins this season. 25-4 or 25-6. So, 5 runs is a 4 runs rather is a gimme if they're going to win the game. Then we're going to go with Luis. I don't want to screw up his name. Rengifo. Yeah, yep. Rengifo. I've heard Ifo, and then I've heard Hefo, so pick your poison. Louis Rengifo to get a hit, minus 260. He has 15 of his last 20 games with hits, and then Rengifo to get a stolen base, plus 390. He steals a couple bases. He has 8 stolen bases this month, so that's the one that's obviously going to push it up. 9.5 to 1 or so is your payoff if we can get little Louis there to do his number. Because I'm pretty confident the Angels will win. Pretty confident if they do, they're going to get 4 runs. It's the Rengifo ones that I worry about. The stolen base, obviously.
Yeah, I'm surprised. Couple things. One, the Angels are going to win. I went over it with K-Dub on Game Time Decisions. I'm surprised it's only 51%. I'm surprised the number's this low. You have the A's stat there, 17-17 on May 4th and 12-35 since. A's 10-2 under versus lefty starters. Okay. I like Angels. I like under. I got the stats here. Tyler Anderson, you're not going to believe this. 3-0 with a 1.61 ERA across 5 career starts against Oakland. That's his lowest ERA against a single opponent in his career. 5 earned runs in 28 innings pitched. Okay. Got that one from my friends at MLB. I said, this line's wrong. Sometimes the number is not reflective of some of these things. So I thought, all right, this is a little light. The other thing is if you use a guy in a same game parlay or any parlay or anything like this, you should probably know how to pronounce his name. I don't know that G is tricky.
I practice
that G is tricky. It's you know, we could have reached out to somebody. I got a guy who helps me pronounce all the names because I mispronounce a lot of names in MLB, and especially with the hockey. Terrible with the hockey. And I've actually texted our guy Rossi, who was just on, about the UFC. Between him and Peralt, those guys are like encyclopedias. They always say the names right. I never say the names right. So if you're going to use them in a parlay, Wetzel, part of the system, you got to be able to say the name right. That's my only beef with the whole thing. I think the stolen base one.
I got it. Rengifo. You know what I do? A little lesson for the broadcast out there. I go to YouTube more times than not. I just cut and paste his name. Go to YouTube, put it in there. It comes highlights, and then you hear the play-by-play people give his name. So, little thing. Hey, little question here with the Yankee game. Get back to that for a second before the break. Why doesn't Major League – like this guy did say, Diaz, that he was innocent, right? But we all know he was guilty. But he said he was innocent, and I hate being lied to. So how come Major League Baseball doesn't give the umpires rags and say, here, wipe your hand on the rag? Now, he's not going to not get kicked out of the game, but if he actually is innocent, he won't get suspended 10 games. So why don't they have him wipe his hand on the rag? You take that rag, you submit it to Major League Baseball, test out the rag. Because they take his glove, but these guys are smarter. They're not putting it in their glove anymore.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't they have that? Right? Really? That's only rosin? Here's a paper towel. Put some... Rub your hand on it. We'll test it.
Then we got to take that like a crime scene and deposit it in the right thing, and then take that
CSI
to the lab and run the test. Like it's CSI for baseball. You've already lost me. Yeah. Too much. That's too much.
Then don't lie to me then. No, don't tell me you're innocent then and not appeal. That's bad.
SportsGrid, your 24/7 sports wagering network. Fantasy sports today.
Can he be a guy that's really useful in your fantasy rotation? I think the answer is yes.
Game
And guess
time
what?
decisions.
I'm going to lose the bet because he's injured again.
Betting above the rim.
He's got a broke J. That's all there is to it. He's got no confidence in that jump shot.
My thing you've always heard me say on the network is you're either winning or you're rebuilding.
InGame Live All Access.
Wondering when that was going to happen, and the answer is it just
Sometimes
did.
the bigger guy will have the advantage. Well, if the little guy can move, Joe, it's hard to hit the little guy sometimes when you're a big boy, right?
InGame Live, prime time.
40-1, I'm going to take a little flyer on Justin Rose.
InGame Live, overtime.
As you sit here and listen, watch right now, you may want to consider placing that bet.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
He went bogey, double, par, birdie, bogey. Thomas Dietrich's all over the place here today.
This golf course is so volatile where it can make you look like a fool in just a matter of minutes. And, you look at a guy like Thomas Dietrich. He's right there tied for the lead or whatever it was, and now he's like 4 or 5 over in the wink of an eye.
InGame Live, all access, only on SportsGrid.
Despite me being a Yankee fan, I think Joe would deserve the label as Aaron Judge's biggest fan, not through any bias, but just through the amount of money that he's made anybody who's been betting on him.
I just had him for that home run, and I'm going to go back to it today. That home run coming in at plus 230. Max Fried here, while he has been strong, this is Aaron Judge.
Game time decisions, only on SportsGrid.
Wow, it's amazing what you can learn in between breaks. I think we just found out. I've been in a lot of locker rooms and almost got in a fight with Sammy Sosa. Believe it or not, I had Lou Piniella spit in my face with pizza. Believe it or not, when he was managing the Stanks. But I think we just exposed the person that blew the lid off steroids in baseball. Did you just tell us a story in the break that you were the guy that pointed out Mark McGuire's Anderstein in his locker when that was being recorded?
No, I was interviewing him, and I was holding the microphone, and we were shooting it, and I don't know what was there. It was just bottles of stuff. It was like, who knows, creatine. I don't know what all that stuff was. But we went back to the station, and I was an intern. And they were like, what is all that stuff? And then the next year, everybody started asking all these questions. And then, he was hitting home runs that were just different. Everything sounded different.
Oh, yeah.
We used to go watch him take BP. It was incredible.
Okay. I thought you were the one that actually asked when, that clip became public and everything. Like, he was so dopey about it. He's like, yeah, it was Anderstein. I take it all the time, Okay. I thought you were the one. That would have been funny. That really would have been funny. All right, let's take a look at some of the scores that are going around baseball. This Vientros guy just hit another home run for the Yanks, or for the Mets, rather. So it's 4-0. This guy's hitting some bombs, speaking of
Yes,
Royce.
he is.
I mean, holy crap. That one last night was a monster shot, or Sunday night. And then this one just now was a nice little right center blast. So clearly Garrett Cole doesn't have it tonight.
Are you impressed by the distance and all that other stuff? Like, it's fun to watch as a baseball fan, but like as a coach or a fan of the team or somebody who bets on it, like, I don't care how far they go. I just need to know if it goes over the wall.
I got to tell you, I've always said this. I don't believe the numbers. I just don't believe them. In fact, I saw a home run this weekend. I don't remember who it was. I really don't. It may have been the Sunday night game. One of the games, dead center field, ball just goes over the fence. No, the center field didn't jump, but it just barely cleared the fence. The thing says 404 dead center, right? So, all right, I'm thinking, what do you go, 447, 408, 409, 410, right? So on TV, it comes back and says the ball went 417 feet. I'm like, what? The sign says 404 feet, or maybe it was even 402, and it barely went over the fence. How did it gain 15 feet?
Hold on.
I don't believe the numbers.
In all fairness, like, I'll put on the listing glasses for this, but your eyesight is not what it used to be. I mean, we can have a real discussion about this. Like, you can't see stuff, and judging the distance that a ball goes over the wall on the TV, you don't know how far behind that wall. So if it was 10 feet behind that wall and it said 417 instead of 406 or whatever it said, that's fine. So just know that sometimes the numbers may not look what they are. They may be right, and they're probably closer to being right. Speaking of being right, the Mets just went deep again. 6-0 Mets. Nimmo! Oh, baby.
Is it 6 or 5? I hope it's 6. Is it 6?
6-0.
I played over 4.5 Mets after they led 3-0. I played just before we came on the air. So, all right, there you go. Hit my first
We're having
winner.
a hell of a week. That's good. It's a hell of a week right now. Let's go.
Yeah. All right. When do you take Garrett Cole out, right? He clearly doesn't have it. I mean, I would have taken out when it was 3-0. He clearly didn't have it.
Listen,
so
Hunter Green is still pitching after throwing up on the mound. Maybe I don't know. Yeah. Like he was still pitching. He gave up 6, and now the Pirates have 8. You made me watch this video. Matty G sent it to me. I watched it. I almost threw up on the break. Yeah,
right.
Listen,
it was
before the kids. How were you with like the throw up? Like my brothers and I and sisters and growing up, if one of them threw up within earshot of me, I was done. I couldn't hear it, smell it, nothing. But then I had kids, and I had that first one, and I got puke on my ear, and I got thrown up on all my. I had to throw out T-shirts all the time from the throw. Like now, Wetzel, you could throw up on me while we're doing the show, and I would just go like this and wipe it off. Like it wouldn't even bother me.
Right. That's pretty good. I got to tell you, my kids were great. Right? They're pain in the asses now. But growing up, they slept through the night. They didn't cry a lot. I think my son, you had to drive around in the car, a little bit. But otherwise, they slept through the night. No throw up like that. My kids were pretty good, so I didn't have to deal with that nonsense. Like I said, now it's a pain in the ass, but I'm paying for it now. But I would have accepted the throw up back then, versus the give me my cell phone, Dad. Where's my new this and my new that and my new computer and so.
Yeah. Wow.
What? All right, 8-6. Hope you didn't have the under in Baltimore. The ball's flying out. Speaking of ball flying out, Cleveland 8-6 over the Orioles. I tell you, this is a big series in that, first place for Cleveland. I know the Orioles are in second place, but regarded as one of the best teams in baseball, right? So they'd be in first place in nearly every other division. And Cleveland playing great ball. They won 6 in a row. O's scuffling a little bit. Baltimore lost last night, and they're losing again tonight. Bottom of the 7th inning, although they do have a couple of runners on. 17.5 is your total. Any thoughts on this series?
I like Cleveland. I've been liking Cleveland now all weekend into the series against Toronto, and then wrap around, come to Baltimore, and said anytime you get one of the best teams in baseball, the plus is another one of those situations where I think it's an automatic play. Play against Baltimore. They had a rough series down in Houston. So, yeah, sitting with Guardians. The other one, what was the producer's pick tonight? Do we have that close to available?
Oh, you don't want to know. Yeah. You don't want to know.
Well, I do. I'm just curious.
It continues.
I do. What?
It continues. Go ahead. Put it up.
What is it? Put it up. Oh.
Put it up.
Oh, the run line on the Dodgers?
They're down. Yeah, Dodgers are trailing 3-1. Talk about the black cloud. I think it's been like 3 months since the producers have given us a winning pick. I mean, I'm not kidding either.
I tried to give them the Mets. We were texting this afternoon. I said the Mets or the Yankees. I was hoping he said the Yankees because they're Yankee fans, and I was going to say it's all about the Mets today. Let Vinny have a shot. Give Vinny the pick for the producers.
Vinny had the winner.
Vinny had the Mets.
Vinny had the winner last week. I will say that. Dodgers down 3-1 against the pathetic White Sox. They're pick'em, top of the second inning. Got to bet 'em, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
-200.
The White Sox with.
Oh, baby.
All right. Soto home run for the Stanks. They're coming back.
Here they come.
The White Sox with Chris Flexen on the hill. It is starts this year. He's got one relief appearance. Where is it? 2-13. 2-13. And he's going to beat the Dodgers tonight, even with a 3-1 lead. That's a great play. I'll take my chances, right?
Right. We got to do it for the producers, for Matty G, for all the boys. Like, this has got to come in. We got to get the Dodgers to come back. Yeah, third time through the order, right? Bet the Dodgers to score in the fifth inning, depending on how long he stays in. It's only the second inning. There's time. Did we really already get a home run from Ohtani today? Is that that's how they got the run?
Yeah.
He was like, pick him to hit a home run today. I have never seen that in my life.
I know. When do we seriously start saying, hey, Ohtani, don't pitch anymore? You're having by far your best offensive year, and I don't think it's coincidental. It's a year he's not pitching. I know he wants to, but Dodgers have got to have that conversation with him. More coming up in Game Live Prime Time.
SportsGrid, your 24/7 sports wagering network. Fantasy sports today.
Can he be a guy that's really useful in your fantasy rotation? I think the answer is yes.
Game time decisions.
I'm going to lose the bet because he's injured again.
Betting above the rim.
He's got a broke J. That's all there is to it. He's got no confidence in that jump shot.
My thing you've always heard me say on the network is you're either winning or you're rebuilding.
InGame Live All Access.
Wondering when that was going to happen, and the answer is it just
Sometimes
did.
the bigger guy will have the advantage. Well, if the little guy can move, Joe, it's hard to hit the little guy sometimes when you're a big boy, right?
InGame Live, prime time.
40-1, I'm going to take a little flyer on Justin Rose.
InGame Live, overtime.
As you sit here and listen, watch right now, you may want to consider placing that bet.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
He went bogey, double, par, birdie, bogey. Thomas Dietrich's all over the place here today.
This golf course is so volatile where it can make you look like a fool in just a matter of minutes. And, you look at a guy like Thomas Dietrich. He's right there tied for the lead or whatever it was, and now he's like 4 or 5 over in the wink of an eye.
InGame Live, all access, only on SportsGrid.
Despite me being a Yankee fan, I think Joe would deserve the label as Aaron Judge's biggest fan, not through any bias, but just through the amount of money that he's made anybody who's been betting on him.
I just had him for that home run, and I'm going to go back to it today. That home run coming in at plus 230. Max Fried here, while he has been strong, this is Aaron Judge.
Game time decisions, only on SportsGrid.
Welcome back in-game live, prime time here on a Tuesday evening. Scott Wetzel, Dave Sharapan, celebrating our 3-team, 3-league championship parlay. Ah, yes, with some baseball plays. Don't take the money out of the account. Just keep on betting. We got a couple of things here, including the Dodgers tonight, down 3-1 against the pathetic White Sox. I mean, how great is that bet? I know it's pick'em. You're down a couple of runs, but you can do that. We got we talked about Ohtani there before the break, Dave. What do you think? I mean, honestly, if you're the Dodgers and you're seeing Ohtani do what he's doing, whether he's batting leadoff now with bets out, whether he's batting third, The guy's on pace for 40-plus home runs, 100-plus RBIs, and finally, hitting over 300, which is something he had not really done with the LA Angels. So let's bring in Steve Murrow from WagerTalk.com, get his thoughts on that. Steve, what do you think, Steve? I mean, do you think it's coincidental that Ohtani is doing so well at the plate in a year in which he's not pitching?
Oh, no, definitely not. It's always amazed me, is he the best hitter? Is he the best pitcher? It's hard to do both. And Dave, you coach a lot of baseball, softball, you know that as well. So I don't think it's a coincidence, and it's something that gets overshadowed in the years past when he was doing both, how good he was doing both. I will say, if you had to choose, you'd probably rather have an all-star pitcher over an all-star hitter, but you're also going to play an extra 10 years probably if you don't. So it's a big difference on the arm.
I apologize. Nothing to sneeze at. Steve, can he win the National League MVP doing what he's doing? Like just being a DH? We've been having this debate on shows all over. Can he win it?
Oh, sure. I mean, back before they had the DH in the National League, it was basically you just put him at first base, right? And I mean, I don't think we ever would have said a first baseman couldn't win it when he was having a great season hitting. I hadn't even considered that, Dave. I mean, is it a knock on him being a DH, I guess? Is that like non-MVP worthy? I really never even thought about it.
Yeah.
Mets in Subway Series action. Yeah. Mets Subway Series action with the Yanks. Yanks struggling again. Garrett Cole getting lit up tonight, Steve. Mets out to a 6-1 lead right now. Your impressions of what's going on at the Citibank Field.
Whoa.
Yeah, I'm surprised. I mean, obviously the Mets are playing excellent baseball. They're 9-2, their last 11, but they had yesterday off, had to return home. Yankees are coming in a little bit of a drought, but I think they're still one of the best teams in baseball. And Garrett Cole also only lasted 4 innings in his last start, but he only gave up 4 hits, walks combined, and he was very good in his minor league start. So I did think he would show better tonight. This might very well mean the Mets are for real right now. They've been playing excellent baseball, and I didn't think this was a good spot tonight, but they're still playing well despite it.
Literally one of the best record in baseball in June. Lineups really hitting. They're scoring runs. They're getting enough pitching. It's pretty impressive. A couple games still haven't started tonight, Steve. Did you have any action on either Cubs, San Francisco, Oakland, and the Angels? Wetzel's got a big position on that. Or Minnesota, Arizona. We were hoping that you maybe had a little insight or something to add to that conversation.
Yeah, the 2 late National League games, and we had a pitching change for San Diego. We had the Giants undecided all day until recently. Now they got Rodriguez listed. They've been doing a lot of bullpen games recently. I'll look at that late interleague game, though. Ryan and Pfaff for the Arizona Diamondbacks and the Twins. We always talk about ERA as a good stat, but I've always thought WHIP, walks, hits per innings pitched, is better. And both of those starters have very mediocre ERA, but great WHIPs. So I like the under 7.5 in that game. It actually opened as high as 8.5. And it's a weird situation, Dave. We've got the Twins as only a small favorite, but their team total is 4.5 versus Arizona 3.5, and that's because the odds makers opened in 8.5 overnight, and now it's 7.5. So definitely think the under is worth a look. Both team totals, especially the Twins under 4.5, which is a little bit pricey just the way the line opened last night.
We got the Astros, Steve, winning again, 5-0 already over Colorado. I remember talking to you about, when do we give up hope on this team? And, just maybe when we're ready to, they're on fire. Finally, they've won 6 in a row. They got a long ways to go to get back in that NL or AL West race. But how impressed are you with the Astros these days?
Well, I actually did a free play video at Wager Talk TV, wagertalk.com this afternoon on this game, and I recommended the Astros -1.5 run line. And, you look at them, they're -260 as high as -280 to win the game. You could get a -130 run line. That was like a 150-cent discount just to have to win by 2 or more instead of 1 or more. I thought it made a lot of sense. The Rockies remain a terrible road team, as they always are. And like you said, Scott, this is a Houston team that started very slow. I believe they were 7-19 maybe when they started the season, but they're 31-21 the last 52 cents. Bullpen has gotten much better, and the pitching's gotten much better, including tonight's starter with Brown. He's been one of the best in baseball the last 6 starts. So, yeah, Houston is a play-on team right now.
Steve, the producer's pick tonight was the Dodgers on the run line, -1.5 at the White Sox. They're trailing 3-1. It's only the bottom of the second inning. Is all hope lost, or would you recommend maybe diving in and taking plus 120 on the Los Angeles Dodgers against the Chicago White Sox. I think when I say that even out loud, it almost becomes an autoplay. Not even, I don't know who's pitching. I don't even care if Wetzel's pitching. If you're pitching, I like it more because I know you still got a couple innings left in you.
Well, I'll say this. The Dodgers, you either play them run line or you play the other team outright. And if you've been using that strategy, you continue to win, and you might win again tonight because the White Sox are winning outright as a dog. But if you played the Dodgers, you only laid minus 105 on the run line, so you don't get hurt as bad. Or maybe it was actually that was minus 130 range, I think. But the point is, you always play Dodgers minus 1.5 or the other team outright. I think it's cashed like 13 of the last 15 this month, and it's on pace to maybe work again tonight with the White Sox outright. I do like them in game, though, plus 120, because Chicago is not a good offense. They might not get more than the 3 runs they have right now.
Right.
Atlanta St. Louis, they had a long rain delay. They're going to get underway here in about 10 minutes. The Braves, boy, I tell you, 19-20 on the road. I know they've had a ton of injuries, Steve, but are we bailing on Atlanta?
No, I actually think they're playing better now. Acuna going out like 3 years ago. They end up winning the World Series. They're actually much farther ahead now than they were 3 years ago. They had a losing record at this point in 2021. So, no, I think there's plenty of upside with the Braves still.
All right, taking on St. Louis, Lopez and Gibson. St. Louis, surprisingly, 9-3 their last 12, playing some good baseball. So, Steve, good job as always, my friend. Check out the website, wagertalk.com. Look for Steve's picture, hit it, get his picks, and you'll be all set to make some money with the boys in Vegas. Thanks, Steve.
Thanks, guys.
SportsGrid, your 24/7 sports wagering network. Fantasy sports today.
Can it be a guy that's really useful in your fantasy rotation? I think the answer is yes.
Game time decisions.
I'm going to lose the bet because he's injured again.
Betting above the rim.
He's got a broke J. That's all there is to it. He's got no confidence in that jump shot.
My thing you've always heard me say on the network is you're either winning or you're rebuilding.
InGame Live All Access.
Wondering when that was going to happen, and the answer is it just
Sometimes
did.
the bigger guy will have the advantage. Well, if the little guy can move, Joe, it's hard to hit the little guy sometimes when you're a big boy, right?
InGame Live, prime time.
40-1, I'm going to take a little flyer on Justin Rose.
InGame Live, overtime.
As you sit here and listen, watch right now, you may want to consider placing that bet.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
He went bogey, double, par, birdie, bogey. Thomas Dietrich's all over the place here today.
This golf course is so volatile where it can make you look like a fool in just a matter of minutes. And, you look at a guy like Thomas Dietrich. He's right there tied for the lead or whatever it was, and now he's like 4 or 5 over in the wink of an eye.
InGame Live, all access, only on SportsGrid.
Despite me being a Yankee fan, I think Joe would deserve the label as Aaron Judge's biggest fan, not through any bias, but just through the amount of money that he's made anybody who's been betting on him.
I just had him for that home run, and I'm going to go back to it today. That home run coming in at plus 230. Max Fried here, while he has been strong, this is Aaron Judge.
Game time decisions, only on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back. InGame Live, prime time here on the grid. Scott Wetzel, Dave Sharapan for the next hour plus as we check out the boys in Vegas. A little WNBA. We'll look at hour number 2 and obviously all the baseball stuff that's going on, including we need to finish up this hour with our Black Cloud play of the day. Pickens are a little slim for this. Not in love with the late games, although I do like Minnesota. That's where we're going to go. We won't play the Twinkies on the run line, but we'll take one of their hottest hitters, Jose Miranda, their third baseman. Going to push the envelope a little bit and go with 2 bases for Jose. He's on fire, 11 of 30, his last 9 games. He's got 2 bases or more in 4 of those 9 games, 5 if you want to count walks, which I know you don't, but I'm not really sure why a walk doesn't count as a base. You're getting on base. So should if you get on base be an error. What's the difference? Fielder's choice. You're on base, right? But that's not how they do it, the boys in Vegas, because they got to get every single angle to twist it and make sure that their odds are in their favor. So we're going to turn the tables. We'll put the odds in our favor. He's got to get 2 bases tonight. You wait and see. Plus 110 as well. Jose Miranda for the Twinkies.
Okay. You got to stop saying the boys in Vegas are doing this and doing that. I'm in Vegas, and I'm a boy, actually a man, but I'm in Vegas. Stop accusing the boys or people in Vegas are doing anything. You make a prop, you put it up. You know the number. We know the number. There it is. You don't have to bet it. You've chosen an individual player prop, 2+ bases for the Black Cloud Play of the Night for the first time in the Black Cloud Play of the Night history, at least with me on the show with you. I've never seen you do this. Why, again, did you do this? You didn't like the Angels today? You used that in the same game parlay. Okay.
Yeah, use that same game parlay.
San Francisco tonight? Or the under against Hendricks? Got to be a play. Giants team total over. Any of that didn't appeal to you? You went... No. This is like a deep cut, like the kids like to say. You went really into this. I'm surprised. I hope you win, but stop saying the boys in Vegas are trying to cheat you. You know the number. There it is.
Why wouldn't walks count for total bases? Give me a realistic explanation. Well,
I don't.
Then you got to learn to question authority, right? Did your mother and father teach you that growing up? You question the teachers. You question the mentors. Why? What? Best word you can teach your 3-year-old. Well, actually, not 3. That's the worst word. Your 14-year-old. Why? Oh, yeah, that really stumps him. Why?
Yeah, that's a great question. And you're right. I was taught that way. I teach my kids the same way. And it's very annoying as the parent when they ask you why, and then they ask you why again, and they ask you why the third time, and then you get the answer because I said so. Right then you remember your mom or your dad said, because I said so. That's the end of the conversation. Don't ask me why again. Why is total bases not include walks? I have no idea. I think it's ridiculous. It should include walks. Yeah. I don't know. I have no explanation.
There should be a protest like, we're not going to bet that bet. Because it should include, you're getting on base. You could score a run. You could steal a base. You can get thrown out. You can do whatever you want. You got on base. You can't, it's like you can't steal first base. If I'm on base, that seems to be a total base, right? How many people make that bet not knowing that? I bet a lot.
Well, when it first became popular, a lot of people did. But if people have educated themselves, they find their way to shows like ours where we try to just tell the truth and educate people as well as entertain. I don't know. This has been early on when this became a popular content piece. There were people doing the content that didn't know that it wasn't counted toward the total bases, and that you got to know that too. You have to know that when you bet it, and if you don't know, ask. And if the person doesn't know that you ask someone else till you get the right answer.
Twinkies, by the way, 12-4 their last 16. You like them on the road tonight at Arizona?
Of course. Yes.
Right?
Yes. I like the Twins.
Joe Ryan on the hill? Like the game over. Really?
No. No. I'm on under.
Oh, okay.
Under, yeah.
Yeah, okay, that I agree with. Twinkies 4-0 under in Ryan's last 4 starts. So, one little thing I'll tell you, Arizona 6-0 in series opening games for whatever reason. This is the first game, opening game. Buy into that. We'll find out. We'll check out the WNBA score in a moment as well.
SportsGrid, your 24/7 sports wagering network. Fantasy sports today.
Can it be a guy that's really useful in your fantasy rotation? I think the answer is yes.
Game
And guess
time
what?
decisions.
I'm going to lose the bet because he's injured again.
Betting above the rim.
He's got a broke J. That's all there is to it. He's got no confidence in that jump shot.
My thing you've always heard me say on the network is you're either winning or you're rebuilding.
InGame Live All Access.
Wondering when that was going to happen, and the answer is it just
Sometimes
did.
the bigger guy will have the advantage. Well, if the little guy can move, Joe, it's hard to hit the little guy sometimes when you're a big boy, right?
InGame Live, prime time.
40-1, I'm going to take a little flyer on Justin Rose.
InGame Live, overtime.
As you sit here and listen, watch right now, you may want to consider placing that bet.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
He went bogey, double, par, birdie, bogey. Thomas Dietrich's all over the place here today.
This golf course is so volatile where it can make you look like a fool in just a matter of minutes. And, you look at a guy like Thomas Dietrich. He's right there tied for the lead or whatever it was, and now he's like 4 or 5 over in the wink of an eye.
InGame Live, all access, only on SportsGrid.
Despite me being a Yankee fan, I think Joe would deserve the label as Aaron Judge's biggest fan, not through any bias, but just through the amount of money that he's made anybody who's been betting on him.
I just had him for that home run, and I'm going to go back to it today. That home run coming in at plus 230. Max Fried here, while he has been strong, this is Aaron Judge.
Game time decisions, only on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome in. It's InGame Live, prime time here on the grid. Scott Wetzel, Dave Sharapan. Hour number 2. We are flying right here as we try and make some money with the boys in Vegas. Little baseball, little WNBA to get to. We got our Black Clouds in. I think we got Cam coming up in about a half hour or so. We'll go over a number of things with him. Even kind of go over last night's championship one more time. It's a beautiful thing. But meanwhile, more runs being scored in Baltimore. Dave, give me a sense. What do you got your eyes on baseball-wise tonight?
Guardians, just win it. Get it over with now, please. It's 10-7. Yeah. It's a football score. I love when the baseball scores become football scores, and we got football season in a couple months. 10-7. Pirates nursing a 8-3 lead. Got my eye on that. We'll talk to Cam. He's coming on. I know he had Florida in the hockey, but he also had the Blue Jays yesterday, and they blew the game. They were up 6-2 and blew the game to your Red Sox. I hope when by the time Cam comes on tonight that the Blue Jays have held on. It's 8-4, end of 6. Boy, oh boy, we want to talk about a team that's gone bad. I thought the Red Sox would win another one there. And then obviously the story tonight so far on the baseball board is the Dodgers trailing the White Sox 3-1 in the top of the third. Told everybody last hour, we'll tell them this hour, right? What is it, plus 120? Double check. It changes while they're hitting. Yeah,
106.
Plus 120 here. Yeah, I got plus 120. So.
FanDuel, yeah.
Yeah.
That's not
play.
bad.
That's not bad.
Yeah. That's all good. That's all good. We got Miami down again. Kansas City leading 1-0 there. You got this the Mets leading the Yanks 6-1. A little Subway Series action. WNBA, they got this goofy Commissioner's Cup. I mean, nobody cares. I mean, the fact that the Lakers won last year, proves that no one, it was an easy sell year number 1 just because it's different. But knowing the Lakers flopped from that point on afterward, I don't think anybody's going to be into this Commissioner's Cup in the NBA next year. But that said, they have it in the WNBA. Championship game is tonight. Did like the New York Liberty, and a number of reasons why, but one, they're the best team in the WNBA, and they are going to win the championship. They're plus 190 to win the title, if you're into it. And they're only laying 4.5. So that's a pretty good price because they were a 5.5-point favorite day before the game. and they're up 3 at halftime, so it's a good game, 50-47, ton of points, and the line lowered to 4.5. Now, the Liberty have only 3 losses all season. They're 11-1 their last 12 games. They're the best team in the WNBA. One of those 3 losses came to this Minnesota team, which I know is playing well, but that's a good situational spot to me for the Liberty to kind of come out flying and show that they are the best team in the WNBA. I think they win. That laying 4.5 with a 3-point lead, I think is a pretty good play.
I would have to defer to you because I was so busy listening to your case and wondering, maybe he's right. I was paying attention to the Dodgers, and
they score.
Not only did they score, but they tied up the game, and I was trying to get in touch.
Hey, the horn lives.
Listen, the hockey season is over, but we got to until we come up with a better plan. When we give out a player, we need a home run, something like that. Bam, Freddie Freeman. Thank you, South Dakota Mike. South Dakota Mike is enjoying the show right now, and he's kind of helping us out. He said, good call with the Dodgers. I played it myself. Here we go. In-game live. Tied up 3-3. He also said, by the way, if you included walks in the number for total bases, we'd have numbers like 3.5, right? We'd have to worry about guys getting walked and all that other stuff. So it's total bases. It's just hits. And that's end of story. But Commissioner's Cup, go back to that. Is this a thing? Like, I was so focused on the hockey and the baseball, I completely forgot that was even on the board today. Like, it was one of those ones where, right? Like, how much action, when you get in the rhythm of playing, and you're on In-Game Live on the weekends and stuff. I pop in and do some of the shows myself. But I've been watching WNBA on Sunday. The games have been very entertaining. The Fever and Sky got a little something working right now, a little bit of rivalry. The Aces obviously are here. I can't get the kids to go to a game with me. They're just not into it right now. They just are home for summer vacation, and they don't want to do anything. It's 110 outside. They don't want to leave ever. But how do you stop right after all of like a big weekend and go, oh, we're just going to play this Commissioner's Cup game and no games before or no games after? What are we doing?
Yeah. It's goofy. It's just, like I said, the NBA tried it because they do it in soccer. You can determine how successful it was or wasn't. But next year, I don't think anybody's going to care. I mean, I know they held it in Vegas last year. The WNBA, they don't do that. They play in their home site. This is here in New York. It doesn't. Who cares? All right, so you're mid-season champ. So what? I mean, it's just like, so what? I don't get it. I just, it's the weirdest thing to me. And I'll tell you what's other weird is.
What?
Go ahead.
No,
this is when
these things aren't for us. Like, this is for,
right.
The kids. They like in-season tournaments, or they tell you they do, and I don't know if they're watching, they're betting it or not. But yeah, it's sometimes it's just not for us, and that's okay. That's okay. I just know that I missed it. Like, I didn't even pay any attention. I was like, wait, the WNBA is playing today? I didn't know until I saw the rundown. I was like, okay, here we go.
Yeah. It's too bad they need to have a tournament to basically give incentive for the players to want to play. That's really what it's all about. But I was going to say, isn't this the time, like, you kind of look at the schedule and say, not much going on. Maybe I'll check out a little USFL and just see what they're up to these days. But their season ended like 2 weeks ago. This is when the USFL should be playing, right? Let's pick it up when the NBA, NHL season is done. There's nothing going on. People want to gamble. All these secondary leagues are going through the roof. Why? Because of gambling. That's why. Not because people are all of a sudden are interested in soccer or the WNBA or any other secondary league. It's because they want to gamble. This is when the USFL, you either do it right after the football season ended or now. They picked like the worst time. They already had their season. It's over. The championship was in St. Louis, and no one even like paid one iota to it. It's so crazy how these leagues are run into the ground.
I totally disagree with you. I don't need more football now.
Really?
While it's hot, I don't need football in June.
CFL action?
I don't care what league it is.
CFL?
No. Well, I enjoy the CFL. When you pay attention and watch those games, it's different. The quirky 3 downs, Gabe and Cam are all over it. I learned a lot doing the shows with them, and I actually got into watching it, and I think there's good betting opportunities there too. But it's definitely different with the Rouge and all that other stuff. So I don't need not NFL football in June. Just look, can we just enjoy baseball? Can baseball have the spotlight for a couple months, Wetzel? There's enough to pay attention to, bet on, all this other stuff. We got the WNBA, that's fine. Are you paying attention to this Copa or whatever the soccer thing is? I am not at all.
No, I'm not a soccer guy. The only bet I put a couple of bets because one of my podcast guys, so I put a bet on this guy, Mbappe. First 5 minutes of the first game, he broke his nose. So, again, Wetzel Black Cloud. Sorry, Mbappe fans.
This house is excited for Italy games.
Really? For Italy games.
Yeah, everybody's Pap and Grandma, big Italy fans and stuff. So when Italy's playing, I hear the yelling, but otherwise I ain't watching the soccer either.
Yeah. Let's get some baseball winners when we come back.
SportsGrid, your 24/7 sports wagering network. Fantasy sports today.
Can he be a guy that's really useful in your fantasy rotation? I think the answer is yes.
Game time decisions.
I'm going to lose the bet because he's injured again.
Betting above the rim.
He's got a broke J. That's all there is to it. He's got no confidence in that jump shot.
My thing you've always heard me say on the network is you're either winning or you're rebuilding.
InGame Live All Access.
Wondering when that was going to happen, and the answer is it just
Sometimes
did.
the bigger guy will have the advantage. Well, if the little guy can move, Joe, it's hard to hit the little guy sometimes when you're a big boy, right?
InGame Live, prime time.
40-1, I'm going to take a little flyer on Justin Rose.
InGame Live, overtime.
As you sit here and listen, watch right now, you may want to consider placing that bet.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
He went bogey, double, par, birdie, bogey. Thomas Dietrich's all over the place here today.
This golf course is so volatile where it can make you look like a fool in just a matter of minutes. And, you look at a guy like Thomas Dietrich. He's right there tied for the lead or whatever it was, and now he's like 4 or 5 over in the wink of an eye.
InGame Live, all access, only on SportsGrid.
Despite me being a Yankee fan, I think Joe would deserve the label as Aaron Judge's biggest fan, not through any bias, but just through the amount of money that he's made anybody who's been betting on him.
I just had him for that home run, and I'm going to go back to it today. That home run coming in at plus 230. Max Fried here, while he has been strong, this is Aaron Judge.
Game time decisions, only on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back in Game Live, prime time here on the grid. Scott Wetzel, Dave Sharapan, watching a little WNBA and mostly baseball. I will say WNBA 55 all third quarter now. Liberty down to 3.5. I'd be surprised if they lost this game, but I am impressed with Minnesota, which came into this game playing well. But that said, all right, we got a couple of games here, Dave, that are going to be starting in a little while. So let me throw them out baseball-wise. First up, Oakland and the LA Angels starting bottom of the hour. My thoughts on this. Mitch Spence going for the A's. Tyler Anderson for the Angels. Oakland 11-29 on the road. Not that LA's great at home, 13-25, but I told you 17-17 were the A's at one point. Now 12-35 since. A's 10-2 under last 12 versus a left-handed starter, which is what Anderson is. Oakland and the Angels. Angels at this point are laying minus 122. Oakland basically pick them on the other side or even money.
I can't believe it's that low. I really can't. I don't know.
I know, right?
Listen. I really can't believe it. I looked at Anderson's numbers in his career, 5 career starts against Oakland. He's 3-0 with a 1.61 ERA, 5 earned, or I think it's 4 or 5 earned in 28 innings pitched. He's pitched well in his last, I think they said, what it was, a 5-2 in his last 7 starts that the Angels are. Now, they lost a lot of his starts early in the season. This is Angels. It's Angels and under is what I think you would kind of even correlate them to. Against Oakland, on Angels, not a lot of runs being scored either way. Angels win, 4-1? There's a final score for you. Something like that.
Yeah. 4-1, 5-2, maybe. All right. Minnesota Twinkies at Arizona. Twins, 8 games over 500, 43-35. Arizona, 2 games under. Ryan versus Fod. Both basically 500. Twins on the road, Arizona at home. They have won, as Minnesota, 12 of their last 16, so 12-4. They're 8-2 versus Arizona. I don't put a whole lot of credence because they don't play that often, but still 8-2 against Arizona last 10 meetings. If you want a fantasy guy, I will say, how about this guy, Royce Lewis, former number 1 overall pick, 2022. 7 for 20 with 3 homers and 3 walks. There's those walks again. His last 5 games. So if you want to play some, player props, Lewis for Minnesota would be the guy for me. I do like Minnesota. The number to start the game is minus 130. Pretty manageable. And then Arizona's plus 110 coming back at home.
Trying to find the road record. The Twins are 20-19 on the road on the season. I just want to see how many teams in the American League have a winning record on the road. That's a pretty impressive stat to be approaching the end of June and have a winning record on the road. I think the price may be a little cheap here. Again, so I just clicked refresh, minus 125 approximately. There's a couple places that are minus 130. Twins? I'm on Twins.
Yeah, we got 6. Okay. 6 actually. 6 teams, 5 others, but giving to Minnesota 6 teams. 4 in the AL East, and then Minnesota and Cleveland. So wow, it's not easy to go being 500. 4
teams
on the road.
In the American League East have winning road records.
Yeah.
Wow.
Even the Devil Dogs at 19 and 17.
I was going to say, record. Who doesn't? The one that doesn't is Toronto, right?
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Blue Jays.
That's a good.
That's a manager waiting to be fired.
That's a good barometer for a bet against or a bet on. Like when a team has a winning road record, I think you'll see odds makers maybe weigh that in a little bit more. So you'll see where a team will be, I don't know, you probably pick them, but you make them minus 120 or minus 125 because they're good on the road. I know I used to do that. I value that winning on the road thing. Right. I don't know if a lot of people do when they bet, but I think that means more than the home record to me. Good teams win on the road. So look for betting opportunities on road teams.
I like betting on those teams come playoff time too. Show me a team. Give me a team that's, you know what, if you lose a game at home, it's not the end of the world because they've shown all postseason or all regular season that they can win on the road. Yeah, I do like that. So, Washington, speaking of road records, believe it or not, I don't know how many people would think the Washington Nationals at this point would have a winning road record, but they do. 21-20. They're under 500 overall, 38-39, but they're actually playing halfway decent. They're at San Diego. Padres won 7 of their last 8 at home. McKenzie won a little hunch. Mackenzie Gore's going for Washington. He used to be a Padre. Adam Azur going for the Padres. He stinks. No Fernando Tatis. He's out with stress reaction, whatever that is, in his right leg. So one less bat in that Padre lineup tonight.
Nationals playing above expectations for sure. And got a couple guys that work on an earlier show that's been talking about this team. I don't know if anyone else really knows. And I don't think you see – I mean, they're favored on the road tonight. I threw this game out. As soon as there's a pitching change, I'm like, yeah, I'm not interested. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I just go, I'm out. So we look to play this in game maybe. But Gore's been good, and so have the Nationals.
Yeah. Laying wood on the road with the Nationals, though, that's tough.
Hard to believe.
And then yeah, right? I mean, and then last one is what you thought with that game, I think with this next game, and that's the Cubs at San Francisco. Both teams stink. You got a bullpen by committee type of game for San Fran. It's basically pick 'em, but I'm going to stay away from this one. Maybe a little in-game if something happens that jumps off the page, but otherwise, I don't have a good feel for this one at all.
I like Giants. I like Giants yesterday. I like Giants again today. Against Hendricks it's more against Hendricks than on Rodriguez or anything like that. Cubs are going backwards fast. And anytime you get a short number against them, I think that's another play.
Yeah. It's tough to figure out. Thought they were going to be a little better. Bet scored again? All right. 9-1. Mets over the Stanks. Ah, yes. The ride home's going to be sweet tonight.
SportsGrid, your 24/7 sports wagering network. Fantasy sports today.
Can it be a guy that's really useful in your fantasy rotation? I think the answer is yes.
Game time decisions.
I'm going to lose the bet because he's injured again.
Betting above the rim.
He's got a broke J. That's all there is to it. He's got no confidence in that jump shot.
My thing you've always heard me say on the network is you're either winning or you're rebuilding.
InGame Live All Access.
Wondering when that was going to happen, and the answer is it just did.
The bigger guy will have the advantage. Well, if the little guy can move, Joe, it's hard to hit the little guy sometimes when you're a big boy, right?
InGame Live, PrimeTime.
40-1, I'm going to take a little flyer on Justin Rose.
InGame Live, Overtime.
As you sit here and listen, watch right now, you may want to consider placing that bet.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
He went bogey, double, par, birdie, bogey. Thomas Dietrich's all over the place here today.
This golf course is so volatile where it can make you look like a fool in just a matter of minutes. And, you look at a guy like Thomas Dietrich. He's right there tied for the lead or whatever it was, and now he's like 4 or 5 over in the wink of an eye.
InGame Live, All Access, only on SportsGrid.
Despite me being a Yankee fan, I think Joe would deserve the label as Aaron Judge's biggest fan, not through any bias, but just through the amount of money that he's made anybody who's been betting on him.
I just had him for that home run, and I'm going to go back to it today. That home run coming in at plus 230. Max Fried here, while he has been strong, this is Aaron Judge.
Game time decisions, only on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back. In-game live, prime time here on the grid on a Tuesday evening. Scott Wetzel, Dave Sharapan. We didn't get a chance, Dave, to talk too much about the Cup final last night, so we got a couple of minutes here. We got a kind of pregnant pause here. A lot of blowout games in baseball tonight, but we ran down the games that are going to start in a little while. So give me your, obviously we're happy. We won. We hit our 3-team, 3-league championship parlay. Giving Connor McDavid, I thought it was a humongous mistake. I thought that was stupid. I really do. You can't give a guy who didn't show up in Game 7, biggest game of the year, the Conn Smythe MVP for the postseason. And that's just dumb in my eyes. But anyway, give me your thoughts. Florida actually winning this thing at 2-1 and becoming champs.
I have no complaints. I thought that a Game 7, 2-1 final. We get good goaltending. We get penalty kills. We get, power plays. We get everything, little pushing and shoving that didn't turn into anything. I was fine with it. I'd rather see that than see 4-3 or 5-4, something like that in a Game 7. I thought it was a well-rounded game. I enjoyed it. Now, you find out the day after that McDavid is hurt. And, he's got to have surgery on his abdominal injury and a broken finger, all this other stuff. The day after the Stanley Cup final ends, whenever that is at the end of June now, it's kind of a bummer. One of my favorite things is watching hockey players celebrate with the cup after. It is so just a cool tradition. And after it's over, like out here, they just game ends and they just go to local news and that's it. And that's the end of the season. And you put in all this time, for the longest time, we were Penguin season ticket holders and you go to every game and you ride it out and then they win the cup or they lose the cup or they lose in the playoffs and everybody just goes home. And I turned off the TV last night and went, geez, another hockey season done. But I was happy with it and the S&W cashed. So there was a hell of a sweat. Got us home. Did you enjoy? I so enjoy the hockey. I always did. But as a postseason, do you enjoy it? I love it.
Yeah. Oh, it was great. It just dragged on. That's all. Not as much as the NBA postseason dragged on because there were nothing but blowouts in the NBA postseason. But the NHL, you know what was weird about the NHL? And you follow this sport, so you could tell me. This stat to me just blows my mind. There's been 15, there's 15 series, right? You got 8 in the first round, then 4, then 2, then the 1 Stanley Cup final, right? In 15 series, guess how many times a team won 3 in a row?
This playoff year.
This playoff year. Which is and I bring it up as you think, that's like the benchmark for me of if a team has won 2 in a row, I usually bet the team that lost 2 in a row because I always say it's really hard to beat a team 3 in a row. It's really, really hard because it's equal talents postseason.
4 times. 4.
Not even close. Not even
more.
Close.
A lot more?
Yeah.
10?
A lot more. More.
Wait. This playoff season that just ended, 2024.
This playoff season. Yep.
How many is it?
13 times.
13 times a team won 3 in a row?
Yeah. Is that crazy? And this series, the last one obviously happened twice. And the kicker, only one actual sweep, and that was the Rangers. You look it up. 13 out of this last one had happened twice with both Florida and Edmonton. But there were only 3 series. The 2 Vancouver series and I think Boston-Toronto were the only series in which a team did not win 3 in a row. That is so bizarre. But it was a good postseason.
And it was. I was just going to say, how many times it happened in the NBA? It didn't happen as many, but there was, sweeps and 4 in a row, 3 in a row, whatever it was.
Yeah, seemed all one-sided, right?
Right. That's what I mean. So I would have thought it would have been more in the NBA than the NHL. It can't be more. right?
Yeah.
It didn't have as many series.
No. Yeah.
Wow.
Well, they all have the same amount of series, but I didn't even look up the NBA.
It was quick. There was 3 or 4 of them in a
Yeah.
row. Wow.
It's amazing. Yeah, look it up. Only 3. Shocking. All right, Cam Stewart coming up next.
SportsGrid, your 24/7 sports wagering network. Fantasy sports today.
Can he be a guy that's really useful in your fantasy rotation? I think the answer is yes.
Game
And guess
time
what?
decisions.
I'm going to lose the bet because he's injured again.
Betting above the rim.
He's got a broke J. That's all there is to it. He's got no confidence in that jump shot.
My thing you've always heard me say on the network is you're either winning or you're rebuilding.
InGame Live All Access.
Wondering when that was going to happen, and the answer is it just
Sometimes you think
did.
the bigger guy will have the advantage. Well, if the little guy can move, Joe, it's hard to hit the little guy sometimes when you're a big boy, right?
InGame Live, prime time.
40-1, I'm going to take a little flyer on Justin Rose.
InGame Live, overtime.
As you sit here and listen, watch right now, you may want to consider placing that bet.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
He went bogey, double, par, birdie, bogey. Thomas Dietrich's all over the place here today.
This golf course is so volatile where it can make you look like a fool in just a matter of minutes. And, you look at a guy like Thomas Dietrich. He's right there tied for the lead or whatever it was, and now he's like 4 or 5 over in the wink of an eye.
InGame Live All Access, only on SportsGrid.
Despite me being a Yankee fan, I think Joe would deserve the label as Aaron Judge's biggest fan, not through any bias, but just through the amount of money that he's made anybody who's been betting on him.
I just had him for that home run, and I'm going to go back to it today. That home run coming in at plus 230. Max Fried here, while he has been strong, this is Aaron Judge.
Game time decisions, only on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back in-game live, prime time here on the grid. Scott Wetzel, Dave Sharapan. Good news from Chicago as the Dodgers, Dave, have taken a 4-3 lead over the White Sox. Oh, that was a great betting opportunity, right? I mean, down 3-1 was L.A. against the Chicago somehow or another. You got L.A. at pick'em, basically, right? And now they've come all the way back. They tied it, and now they've actually taken a 4-3 lead. That was a great play.
Oh, hello. That's good. I had to reset, so I didn't see it. That's good news.
Oh, okay. So you were back.
I got this one. Yeah, I'm back now. I got this one. How about this?
Go ahead.
Thank you, our producer Matty G. He got this. I don't know exactly where. Garrett Cole's the first Yankees pitcher in 58 years to allow 4 home runs in a game and have 0 strikeouts. 0 Ks. Oh boy.
Oh my.
Let's go Mets. Let's go Mets. I like it.
Wow. He threw 72 pitches, gave up 6 runs, 4 home runs, 7 hits. I mean, I guess you have to keep him out there because you want to get his arm back up. You got to increase the pitch count, but like I said, I'm watching the game, but you knew that his velocity was throwing in the low 90s. The announcers were even saying it if you were watching the Yes Network, the Yankee broadcast, not TBS. I mean, he clearly didn't have it. So, but you got to take one for the team, I suppose. 9-2.
Yes, so.
Metsies.
Yeah.
They had no business being underdogs, right? No business for this game. And I bet they're underdogs tomorrow. Without even looking at the pitching matchup, I bet they're underdogs tomorrow.
Let me see. Tomorrow, pitching matchup is, it's Heel and Manea. So play odds maker, make the number. You just said it. After this, just say it finishes 9-2 or worse, maybe 9-3,
Right.
somewhere in that neighborhood. What do you make the number? Yankees minus what?
140 or so.
You think that high?
135,
I said 125 or 30 in my head, and it's 135. Wow, there's a couple 140s too. Nice dispute. That's good.
Yeah.
I love a discussion like
I think
that.
a lot of thinking is
discussion.
Yeah, I think a lot of it is just they just think that the Yankees won't lose 2 in a row to the Mets. Not that the Mets are that bad, but yeah, that's what I think.
A lot of times, it's not even what they think's going to happen. It's just what they think people's going to bet. So
and they're more Yankee fans than Met fans. So
that, and people don't think the Yankees are going to lose 2 in a row. So you can use a little bit higher number and see at what point are we going to get a bet on the Mets, which I don't know, at minus 140, you can get, a 10-cent line is plus 130. Some books might be plus 125. That wouldn't be a bad play to come back on the Mets. But Manea's pitching. Sometimes he's prone to a big blow-up game. Probably Yankees and over tomorrow is the play.
Yeah. Tampa Bay just beat Seattle 11-3. Like I said, a lot of blowouts tonight. And those are tough to bet. I know that's our job, but Pittsburgh over the Reds 9-4, bottom of the 8th inning. You lay 4.5 if you want. You can get a couple more runs, 14.5. Toronto 9-4 over the Red Sox. Boston's been playing well. Toronto's not, but not happening tonight. Same thing, 4.5. Over under 14.5. Basically identical. Dodgers 4-3. They're now minus 380 against the White Sox. Bottom of the 4th inning. They have 7 runs. That's it looks like we're going to get a bunch of runs. Dodger team total probably was the real play tonight. By the way, I did want to I forgot to bring this up. With the hockey, 2 rather super bets yesterday that were just, boy, I wish they were all this easy. Under 5.5. Game 7, every game goes under. 17-5, last 22 Game 7s in hockey have gone under. And then they offered up a prop on FanDuel. I've only noticed it a couple times late in the Stanley Cup final. But over-under power play goals, 1.5. It was a little juicy, minus 180. But with Edmonton killing off all those power plays, and Florida killing off a bunch of power plays as well, and it being Game 7, so you knew you were not going to get that many penalties, right? Oh, that was the easiest bet in the world. Just the easiest bet in the world. They didn't get any, like they didn't get in most of the games. So,
well, Edmonton's penalty kill was excellent. Florida's was pretty good too. But there's no opportunities, right? What was there, 3 penalties called in the whole game?
Yeah.
Game 7, right? That's why that bet is even more and again, people use a lot of trends and a lot of thoughts and everything based on, this is what happened all series or this is what happened all season. I think Game 7, because it doesn't happen nearly often enough, selfishly as a sports fan, I'll take Game 7 in everything. I love it, the way everything is heightened. But I think there's unique betting opportunities. That number may have been 1.5 in games 3, 4, 5, 6. It's not that same number in Game 7. I'd have been, if we're sitting in a book or in a room, I'd be like, Wetzel, what's that Game 7 stat, or what's that power play stat thing again? Oh yeah, we're going under. So I make it 1. There might be only 3 power plays in a whole game. Not only you were trying to handicap how many power plays there's going to be, but they have to score on one of them. So good bets abound, good series, good talking about hockey. And like I said, we'll get Cam's thoughts on everything that we saw, bet on, did. I hope he got there with that one because he was, big on Florida before. I don't know. Do you start to dive into the World Series stuff? You talking
Well, I was
about
going to
them
say, now that
joking, like baseball futures?
Well, we got we got some money to play with now. So if we had a show tomorrow, we could probably pick this up tomorrow. But we got the big NBA draft special tomorrow. So wall-to-wall coverage, NBA. That'll be a lot of fun for the guys. So no in-game live on that. But now that we got some money and some success here, we could do another 3-teamer, right? We could use WNBA, baseball.
Ooh.
And if NFL or college football, we'd have to wait all the way until February. Is there another sport I'm forgetting about that would have a championship? Anything? Any kind of
Canadian football?
Canadian Football League? Yeah, we could call Joe Madden up. Help us out, Joe.
Yeah.
I know a little bit about it, but a real little,
Yeah. How about cricket? Maybe we can involve the cricket or something in there.
I know a cricket guy. I do know a cricket guy. What a podcast guy. Doc George. Oh, yeah, Doc George. Our podcast, we got everybody. We're covered. You want cricket? I got cricket picks. You want soccer? I got you soccer picks. We're in every state except 5. We're not in Alaska. We're not in Mississippi. We're not in one of the Dakotas. Rhode Island, surprisingly enough, even though my Red Sox ties. Yeah, and then one other state we're not in. So other than that, we're in all the states. I got a cricket guy. We could do the cricket.
Got a cricket guy.
You want to do cricket? I got a cricket guy.
I can't believe it. I got to learn cricket. Somebody came to me and said, "Be a cricket guy." I said, "I got to learn more about the game."
I made my first cricket bet last week or over the weekend. I was getting a team that was leading like 150 to 5 plus odds. I'm like, I'm up 150 points and I'm getting plus odds. Where do I sign? I love this cricket stuff. What are you kidding me? Cam Stewart coming up next. You think he knows cricket? He knows nicknames. Does he know cricket nicknames? We'll test them out.
SportsGrid, your 24/7 sports wagering network. Fantasy sports today.
Can it be a guy that's really useful in your fantasy rotation? I think the answer is yes.
Game time decisions.
I'm going to lose the bet because he's injured again.
Betting above the rim.
He's got a broke J. That's all there is to it. He's got no confidence in that jump shot.
My thing you've always heard me say on the network is you're either winning or you're rebuilding.
In-game live all access.
Wondering when that was going to happen, and the answer is it just
Sometimes
did.
the bigger guy will have the advantage. Well, if the little guy can move, Joe, it's hard to hit the little guy sometimes when you're a big boy, right?
In-game live, prime time.
40-1, I'm going to take a little flyer on Justin Rose.
In-game live, overtime.
As you sit here and listen, watch right now, you may want to consider placing that bet.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
He went bogey, double, par, birdie, bogey. Thomas Dietrich's all over the place here today.
This golf course is so volatile where it can make you look like a fool in just a matter of minutes. And, you look at a guy like Thomas Dietrich. He's right there tied for the lead or whatever it was, and now he's like 4 or 5 over in the wink of an eye.
In-game live, all access, only on SportsGrid.
Despite me being a Yankee fan, I think Joe would deserve the label as Aaron Judge's biggest fan, not through any bias, but just through the amount of money that he's made anybody who's been betting on him.
I just had him for that home run, and I'm going to go back to it today. That home run coming in at plus 230. Max Fried here, while he has been strong, this is Aaron Judge.
Game time decisions, only on SportsGrid.
we're searching high and low for action tonight. We got some baseball games, a lot of blowouts. Got a few games that are starting here in a little while. Talking a little cricket, and shame on me. Welcome back in Game Live, Scott Wetzel, Dave Sharapan. Shame on me to think, just to even ponder the thought that our next guest would not know anything about cricket, because he knows all. Mr. Cam Stewart. What's going on, Cam? I should have figured. My bad to even wonder if you knew anything about cricket, because you can like any sport in the world and you know everything about it. It's amazing.
I'm not going to say that, Scott, but my mother was a mutter and my brother was a bowler. In cricket, the pitchers are called a bowler. Not bowling, not like Kevin Walsh's dad, where the 5-10 split, like bowler. But that's the way cricket is. He went to. Remember, my parents sent him to this school and this college, and that's what they did. They played cricket. He actually had those balls are harder than you get hit with a cricket ball, you're dead. Those things, it's like literally a piece of ground, perfectly round granite. It goes off your head. You think a hockey puck hurts. Try getting hit with a line drive with a cricket ball. You're absolutely done. You're toast, and you got to catch it bare hand too. These guys are crazy. I told Sharapan there's a cricket cage by my place. It's a track with a cricket cage. Then they have the baseball diamonds. Dave, you'd love it here, actually. I'm telling you, Dave, if you grew up, it's slow pitch night every night. My buddy's kid comes in from out of town. The area that I live in, I'll give it this. It's got good food, and it's got baseball diamonds right behind my track where I go for my walks now. There's two huge baseball fields and a cricket, and now they built a cricket cage, and they're trying to build another one because I live in a huge park. So that's what they're doing. Cricket's big here now, Scott. I told you, a lot of the immigrants, they come in. These kids are into it from their homelands, and now Canada's getting good at cricket. USA's amazing. Remember this kid Gabe was telling me, this kid from Stanford or whatever. He's one of the smartest guys going. He works at a tech company. He's one of the best players in the world now. So watch out for USA and Canada in 4 years. Cricket's going to be a sport that's growing. But anyway, I got golf picks this week too. The Rocket Mortgage Classic. Is it a classic? That's pretty loose term on the PGA Tour. We'll call it the Rocket Mortgage Tournament. I don't know if it's a classic, but let's go anyway. Yeah, classic. Come on. Scott, after a hard day's work, a couple Jager bombs, right? You know what I mean? When you're in your younger days, when you're rocking the New Balance at the bar, and before you met Mrs. W, you walked in there, I'll have a Michelob and a couple Jagers. Let's go. Steven Jager, 28-1. Jager bombs, Wetzel's drink of choice. Ryan Ginger, we'll keep the beverage theme going. Watch out for Aaron Rye. A lot of people's models in the sabermetrics world, and they really like this guy this week. I just do the eye test and think that he'll play great on this course in Detroit, which is not that difficult, 7,300. Basically, just keep it in play. You want guys who length is not really an issue. You just want guys who stripe their irons. Matt Wallace at that price, absolutely fantastic. He's trending around the world, 15th in his last tournament globally. Ricky Fowler, Scott, you haven't heard this name in a while. He's the defending champ. And also, Dick Fowler finished well last week. So why not at 71? Let's roll the dice. And at 100-1, a nice. Hey, it's almost the 4th of July. Let's get that grill going with some burgers. Burgers on the grill with Daniel, the Florida State Seminole, at 100-1. Rocket Mortgage. Here we go. Min-Woo Lee. A lot of people like him to win this week. I'm not going to screw around. Just give me a top 10 at plus 210. Global player, guys. He's one of the favorites in this field because Scotty Scheffler's not there. Thank God. Tom Kim. Brady Cannon. Still cursing. We had him last week at 50-1. Second. Lost in a playoff. Plus 180 for a top 10 finish. He is the favorite this week. Maverick McNeely checks all the boxes. Driver of the golf ball, putter of the golf ball, and plays great at this event too. Historically, he's good. Plus 165 for a top 20, guys. Love this. Taylor Pendrith, the Prime Minister, as Pharrell calls me, got to have one Canadian, even though I didn't bet on the Edmonton Oilers. Plus 170. Let's bring Canada back with Taylor Pendrith, who's having a great year. And got to have a Dane too. Torbjorn Olesen. Scott, if you tell me what that means in Danish, I'll buy you Danish. Torbjorn means Thunder Bear. It means Thunder Bear. Oh. Anyway, it means Thunder Bear. But just to give you guys a lesson, Torbjorn is Thunder Bear. And give me, not Tom Kim, Sun Hyun Kim, but they call him, guys, be very careful. There are 3 to 4 Kims this week. Click the right Kim. Boy. You don't want to be like my buddy Billy the Doorman. He did it by accidentally, and he actually won like 10 grand once, Dave. He clicked the wrong guy, and he ended up winning. He goes, oh, I won. That's the way this guy rolls. For me, I come second in a playoff. S.H. Kim in your betting browser, wherever you can find it. Sun Young Kim. There we go. Here we go. First round leaders, Dave. Second every week. Here I go. Cameron Forever Young. This guy finished great last week. Remember, he shot a 59 last week. Jim Furyk shot a 58 the same course. He's going low. Ashke Patea, one of the hottest players on tour, and finished second for me last week. He's coming out of the gate hot. Pendrith, a notorious hot starter. Chris Kirk, Captain Kirk, he likes to come out of the gates hot. Patrick Rogers from Stanford University, 85-1. And I got to have, I love him or hate him, Nasty Nate Lashley, 100-1, who's won at this event before. 100-1 for a first-round leader. Can we get one home, fellas, so we can build in some money? And the Jays actually might win tonight, but who knows? It's 9-4, and there's 2 runners on. But we got, what do we got here? Top of the 9th. Okay, 9-4, Dave.
Yeah,
maybe they'll end the streak. Maybe.
I think
Maybe.
they're going to win. I think they are. Are you paying any attention to the Copa?
Oh, yeah.
You got
big time. Canada, by the way, Canada won. We beat Peru. We won our first ever Copa match in the history of Canada. Congratulations, Canadians, by beating Peru. It's a huge win, Dave, for this country. We're going absolutely wild right now. Argentina is playing Chile right now in the same division. So Canada's got a win versus Peru and a loss to Argentina. America, they get the party started. I think Jamaica plays tomorrow too. So yeah, Dave, I'm following everything. Euro, Copa, golf, cricket, whatever Wetzel wants, he gets. That's what we do here. And Dave, the dumpster went 2-1 last night. We hit the over strikeouts with that gas can Corbin. We hit under with Canning Factory, but I lost the total in that game because it went to extra innings. Forgot. See that? That total wasn't it 3-3, and then it turned out 7-6. Thanks, extra innings. What a joke.
That
got
happens.
an 8. Oh,
How about the late baseball games tonight?
Nothing.
Any late baseball game plays?
Nope, nothing.
No?
Nothing right now. Nothing. Just I got the
Really?
Blue Jays over, and the Blue Jays, I actually bet on them tonight. They even know I said I would never do it again. I just had a good feeling tonight. I'm not touching anything. I got soccer picks and golf tomorrow. That's all I got, Wetzel. I have a plan. I'm going to turn $500 into 10 grand. That's what I'm going to do, and then I can buy that new car. My Corolla's toast.
All right.
Any
Hopefully you got some money from last night's Florida game.
CFL, yeah, CFL. All right. Jeez, Dave, thanks for telling me. But CFL tomorrow, BC Lions are playing the Edmonton Elks. I'd lean to the Lions, but I'm not sure if we're going to be on tomorrow. You know what? I'll get Gabe to tweet out his picks in the CFL. We knocked it out of the park last week with the over in that Argos game. And Edmonton covered 39-36 final. It was a damn shootout with the dog. Love you
Cam
guys.
and Gabe,
Man,
top
it's
of
hot
the
in
hour.
here. Woo!
Check them out.
Give me a fan.
SportsGrid, your 24/7 sports wagering network. Fantasy sports today.
Can it be a guy that's really useful in your fantasy rotation? I think the answer is yes.
Game
And guess
time
what?
decisions.
I'm going to lose the bet because he's injured again.
Betting above the rim.
He's got a broke J. That's all there is to it. He's got no confidence in that jump shot.
My thing you've always heard me say on the network is you're either winning or you're rebuilding.
InGame Live All Access.
Wondering when that was going to happen, and the answer is it just
Sometimes
did.
the bigger guy will have the advantage. Well, if the little guy can move, Joe, it's hard to hit the little guy sometimes when you're a big boy, right?
InGame Live, prime time.
40-1, I'm going to take a little flyer on Justin Rose.
InGame Live, overtime.
As you sit here and listen, watch right now, you may want to consider placing that bet.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
He went bogey, double, par, birdie, bogey. Thomas Dietrich's all over the place here today.
This golf course is so volatile where it can make you look like a fool in just a matter of minutes. And, you know, you look at a guy like Thomas Dietrich. You know, he's right there tied for the lead or whatever it was, and now he's like 4 or 5 over in the wink of an eye.
InGame Live All Access, only on SportsGrid.
Despite me being a Yankee fan, I think Joe would deserve a label as Aaron Judge's biggest fan, not through any bias, but just through the amount of money that he's made anybody who's been betting on him.
I just had him for that home run, and I'm going to go back to it today. That home run coming in at plus 230. Max Fried here, while he has been strong, this is Aaron Judge.
Game time decisions, only on SportsGrid.
welcome back. In-game live, prime time here on the grid. Scott Wetzel, Dave Sharapan. Again, thanks to Cam Stewart, takes over top of the hour with Gabe Morency. So keep it where it is for the next 3 here on the grid. Tomorrow, of course, we got the NBA draft. They don't have that really monster consensus guy, but read little previews. It is a pretty deep draft, so it'll be interesting to see who goes where. Of course, you want to find out who's going where, just keep it right here. Dave and I won't be on the air, but we got our great drafts special show. Ben Stevens, the coach, Kevin Walsh, they'll take you through the draft tomorrow and Thursday night. And wall-to-wall coverage, and these guys will have all the bets and everything else that you could bet on as far as who's going to which team and positions and all that other stuff. So great watch. Make sure you check out our draft special right here on the grid. With my guy Kevin Walsh, Ben Stevens, and the coach, who is no doubt celebrating another Celtic championship, 18th. Ah, yes, it's a beautiful thing. It's oddly, Dave, the Celtics are favorites. They're monster favorites, I will say. But they're favorites to repeat. The Florida Panthers, surprisingly enough to me, are favorites to repeat in the NHL. And Kansas City, which I think if you ask most people would be the consensus champion, right? Back-to-back Super Bowls, they're only tied with San Francisco to repeat as champions. So it's the NBA and hockey that the champions. And I remember last year when San Fran won, or when Kansas City won the Chiefs, they were not the favorites to win last year, which obviously they did.
Correct.
So,
yes. One of the fun exercises that you do when you work in a book is, you put up the numbers for the next year before this year's even done. And
right.
Remember the first time I did it and I was like, what are we doing? Why are we putting this up now? The ink's not even dry. They haven't even finished etching the names in the Stanley Cup. Like, what are we doing? And it was more of a kind of exercise as to who you thought was good, I thought was good, and then what people might bet. So a lot of times those early numbers on the futures are so kind of other than the favorites. Once you get past 10-1, it's pretty much like just throw it up, like put it up. There's nobody. Who's betting? I don't know. The Knicks. Nothing personal, Matty G. Like who's betting the Knicks to win the championship next year? Come on. The Sixers.
You might get some goofy Knicks fans. But it's
fine.
still, you don't know who's going to be drafted. You don't know if they're going to re-sign Anunoby.
Right.
They're going to have to max out this guy. That's why, if they don't do it, you knew this was happening. The four-letter network made it like it was a big story. Listen, he would have been a moron not to opt out of his contract. The whole world knew he was going to opt out of his contract. So, but now he had such a great run, you're going to have to max out on a guy that averages 15 points a game. The NBA salaries are crazy nowadays. Used to be just the superstars. Superstars got maxed out, but not anymore. Now these mediocre players, not mediocre, you know what I mean? Just average players are getting maxed out contracts. So,
yeah, well,
they don't re-sign them, holding out to a losing ticket.
I'm so focused on the baseball and trying to make the numbers for the baseball and looking at the baseball and watching the baseball. When you start talking about salary cap and max out contracts and all this other stuff, boom, goes right over my head. Like I want to talk about the games, or I want to start looking at college football. The NFL stuff's already up. You have lines for every single game of the season. You have lines to win divisions, conferences, season wins on every team, Super Bowl odds, all that stuff. Now the college stuff starts, and you start to try to look at different reports and try to find out, listen to different shows, maybe find out different depth charts, things like that. I don't know. I can't wait for all of it because it's going to be different than anything we've ever seen.
What
happened to Judge?
Aaron Judge, a grand slam. 9-7 now, top of the 8th inning.
Mets
lead is down to 2. If the Mets stay blow a 9-1 lead,
it looked like
without Diaz, the cheater.
Don't say it. Don't say it, please.
That's why I told you he should have. Now, listen, he stinks anyway, but he should have appealed, even if he knew he was dirty as dirt.
You told Ross.
Appeal. Go through the series.
You did say it.
Right?
You did say it.
I mean,
Come on.
Doesn't make any sense.
I don't know.
9-7. Bad on Arp. I should have looked to see how high the Yankees were money line. You're always alive against this Mets bullpen. You are always, always, always alive. Oh, that would be great. Dave, enjoy your day off tomorrow, as I will. We'll do it again next week. You got it.